Hey, today I have a message called Pause to Allow. So the short version, there is something here to follow. You just need to pause to allow it to appear in front of you. The feeling of want means you are looking for something to trust in. The thing you're following is a light signifying what is true about everyone. When you follow the light that belongs to all, you have a sense of your own safety. As you learn to leave ego's lies behind, at first they grow faint. Then you have to strain to hear them. Then they become preposterous, obviously nonsensical. Okay, so back to the beginning. There is something here to follow. You just need to pause to allow it to appear in front of you. So, okay, all this stuff's flooding in. I see a balloon and it's luminous, it's lit up from within and it's floating in front of me, and I'm a child and I'm on this pathway and I do not know anything about anything and I have to follow this balloon. This balloon is, like the Holy Spirit. This balloon knows everything about everything and will lead me through what I do not understand. Now, as an adult who appears to have accumulated knowledge, I can show up as a character that pretends to understand, but I'm just playing a role. Like deep within me, I actually, truly don't know anything about anything. And I have to allow this balloon to come forward. So when I'm feeling tension or stress, which is, I don't want to say harsh, it'd be harsh, but it's all the time. Because as far as I understand, if I'm experiencing time and space, it's made out of fear. So there's tension and stress. There's a way to appear in time and space helpfully that, I don't know, maybe it's only like a shred of that tension remains, or I don't know. I don't know what I don't know yet. But I do know we keep noticing how we feel and going further and further into that and allowing it to melt, allowing this balloon to lead us, knowing we don't know anything about anything. So this sounds so crazy. I mean, it's not crazy at all to me. It makes perfect sense, but there's my fear. I feel self-conscious about how crazy I sound. But whatever, I just exposed that and I'll move on. So we melt, allow this fear to arise and melt and arise and melt. And then we're just this child following this balloon. And if we don't know anything about anything, ego would tell us that's why we need to know things about things, because we need defenses. We need defenses against almost absolutely everything around us. We need to know how to handle things properly. It's like this very adult sense comes over me as I talk about this, like what it means to be an adult. And it's all defense. It's all know-it-all. It's all, and it's not like I have to vigorously like thrust that away from me and reject. And this is not the path of rejection. Everything gets used. So any way I think I'm responsible or a caretaker or, keeping someone safe, that gets used. So anything I perceive or believe, anything in my environment, I'm seeing how it all comes from an idea, so I'm a little distracted by that. It gets used. So this is not about rejection, but it is about trust. And anytime I feel stress or tension in any way, I have surged out in front of this balloon in the darkness. This is where I think I know what's going on and I think I'm in charge. And I think I know what's what, and I look at that guy over there and I think I know what his problem is, and I think I know this eye is so funny, it's not me, it's not you. It thinks it knows so many things about everything, and it really does make me laugh when I see it that way. And then I realize, all I have to do is just stop, wait on the path, the balloon floats in front of me again, and suddenly in the light, I'm a child. I am not this adult, this, I can't describe it in words, I apologize, but maybe you can just get it. I'm not claiming to be either a child or an adult. It's just the imagery is being used to communicate. And the imagery is limited because it's made out of fear. Everything I made in time and space is made out of fear. So what Spirit does is come in and use everything I made and gave meaning to, all these aspects of fear. Spirit uses them to help bring me through and out of the fear and release the fear and see you not as fear, but as love itself. So that's what this whole thing is. So when I feel stress or tension, or an insistent sense of knowing I'm right, or maybe like a softer pity for the guy over there who doesn't get it, any of that, that's all stress and tension in some way. I have to stop and let the balloon come in front of me again and be led. Now that's harmony. If the balloon is, this is probably one of those things I'll might not ever talk about the balloon again. It's just I'll hit it over the head again and again in this message. Because it's not a reality, it's an illusion, it's a symbol being used to help us get it and allow it. So if the balloon is in front of me and I know I don't know anything and I really don't have any other choice but then to just follow it and trust and know the light in that balloon is the light in me, is the light in everyone I see as other, then what is leading that other guy over there in my peripheral vision? His balloon. But if I've surged out in front of the balloon, as soon as I'm in front of the balloon, I'm an adult and it's dark and I feel crazy and unhinged and no. Then I look and I see that guy over there. He's a frickin' monster. Oh my God. No fucking way. Apologies. No. So I hold still on the pathway and I let the balloon come in front of me again, this luminous floating balloon, and I see his balloons come in front of him and he's an innocent child. Oh my God, thank God, the profound relief of that. Just get down on the knees and cry and kiss the ground. Like, I will never say, I know I'm going to today. I will never surge in front of my balloon again. Yes, I will. But something about this imagery helps me see the importance of staying behind the balloon. Okay, let's see if there's anything else here. There's something here to follow. Yeah, obviously. You just need to pause to allow it to appear in front of you. That's my superpower. The humble superpower all of us have is that any of us can notice I'm feeling crazy, therefore I'm thinking crazy, and I can pause in my thinking and allow a spaciousness to enter. And it's not a spaciousness where my character knows anything about your character. It's a shared spaciousness. This beauty, this love is what we actually share, have always shared, always will share, and nothing has interrupted or harmed or dinged or scratched this beauty and harmlessness, harmony, love that is real about us and connects us. And there are no monsters here. The idea of a monster is preposterous here. So you wouldn't want to leave this. You would definitely not want to leave this. So this is what's becoming more and more obvious and clear and available to us all. What we would want to do, accept the harmony, and what we would not want to do, surge in front of our light in the darkness, pretending we're adulting. Okay, let's see what's next. The feeling of want means you are looking for something to trust in. So we can bump into this feeling of want today. We want somebody to do something or not do something. We want something to happen. We want to be a certain way. We want to accomplish a task. If I'm looking around for something to trust in, I'm looking for this feeling of satisfaction and having gotten what I wanted. That means my balloon's behind me and I'm still enamored. Sorry, searching for the words. It's like I'm translating, but it's not like I'm translating. I can't explain that right now, but Okay, so it's like apologies for any pauses, but the pause is what this is about. Okay, I'm still addicted to the idea of being in charge and doing and accomplishing. So that is what will be worked on today. And when I'm engaged in an activity, I can feel that busyness and let my balloon float in front of me. There might not be much change in the external. You see person doing thing and, person doing thing stops for a minute to let the balloon float in front of her, and then person starts doing the thing again. There may not be any visible change in how I'm doing what I'm doing, any of it. But it's really important for me to pause and let that balloon float in front of me and let that balloon be in charge. Okay, I think that's everything there. Okay, the feeling of want. Well, yeah, I'll check and see. The feeling of want means you are looking for something to trust in. Okay, so the thing we're looking to trust in, and we can know when we want something and we're not getting it, it's actually a cry out from our soul, like I'm looking for the thing to trust in. And the funny thing about it is the thing to trust in is in everything. It's in everyone. It connects everyone and everything you see. It's absolutely everywhere. So that feeling of intense want is funny from the perspective of the thing that would fulfill the want is absolutely everywhere, and there's nowhere that it isn't. So the luminous balloon coming in front of us to lead us is a recognition that we're going to perceive time and space for as long as we do, and as long as we do, we have a part to play, and our parts converge harmoniously. I got the funniest little story yesterday that helped me look at something. Bear with me here, I'm probably going to wander, but okay, there's this show called Little Britain, and one of my absolute favorite characters is Daffod. So look it up if you want to, but I think he's Welsh, and you see him in all these different skits and different life situations where he's obviously gay. He's dressed in a very obviously gay way, and he believes, and he holds on to this belief no matter what evidence he gets to the contrary, that he is the only gay in the village. And everyone around him, every ordinary, stereotypical English village person coming to him, showing him openness and love, and that they're gay too, or they're bi, or their grandma's gay, or he absolutely refuses to see it all around him, because he's the only gay in the village. And I just always loved him so much because I knew he's a teacher, and the way he's a teacher, the little story I got yesterday was, what if everyone you meet is enlightened, but the timeline where they're enlightened, if they don't appear enlightened, I hate even using that word. Apparently I'm very free using the word hate lately. I never would let myself say it. Now it's coming out. You have to allow your timeline to converge with their timeline, to finally be willing to recognize that they are fully enlightened. It just wasn't in your timeline, but harmoniously you let everything converge, and then of course they are. And it's like I'm saying I'm the only gay in the village, but when I let all the timelines converge, and of course everybody's the gay in the village. And it was just a funny way of looking at it, like, don't fool yourself about anybody. Don't fool yourself. Okay. You can always look deeper. You can always ask to remember who they really are. And when you see this, you don't know anything about the time and space dream that's happening. You really don't. And you don't need any defenses in it, but you do need this balloon to float in front of you and lead you in your next step. Okay. The thing you're following is a light signifying what is true about everyone. So everyone's the only gay in the village, or everyone is the one. Everyone has the divine light. Everyone's connected by the divine light, which outshines any memory of what the time and space person seems to have done. There is really nothing more important than the renewed unity, the union. Even the way I'm delivering this is changing because the words are just kind of falling out. Usually I kind of hear the words first, and then I agree to let them come through if they make sense to me. But if they don't make sense to me, I don't agree, and then I need to have a back and forth. And it's like I've been at the gate being like, oh, well, I'll let this through if it makes sense and it's helpful, but if not, no. And we're going to have a conference about that. Now it seems like that part's crumbling too. So the thing you're following is a light signifying what is true about everyone. It's very trustworthy. What is true about everyone is very beautiful. And if we know we've been using thought to make a nightmare around us, whether near or far, then we know, okay, what I'm seeing is the lie, but the symbol of what's within this balloon is the truth. And now is the time to remember the truth. And as I let the truth lead me, the truth about everyone and everything will lead everyone and everything. It's that powerful. It's like a huge magnet. At a certain point you're left speechless. It's unbelievable. And fear comes up, but it gets more and more faint. Your protest, any defense you'd hold up to finally seeing everyone and everything as they always have been, and dropping the joke, dropping the nightmare, that protest, it gets weaker and weaker, more and more faint. What's next? When you follow the light that belongs to all, you have a sense of your own safety. So it seems like we're going through this tremendous, enormous change. And even for those in our dream who look like they seem like they're not aware of the deeper levels of what's going on, they seem like they're just superficially engaged with what we would call ordinary life. In the landscape of that, it looks like big changes are happening. Big, significant changes are happening. And the thing is to remember that the changes can have a fearful face, but it's only the face. And if change can be a blessing. So if we remember that all things work together for good, and change is a blessing, even if I have projected a fearful face on it, then here's my safety. And if I know how to look beyond the surface of everyone and everything, I can find my safety right there in that being. Let's say there's an anticipated event. But if I know the true nature of everyone and everything is the same luminous light, then I can even peel off the surface beyond this event and just look to the light of it and say, you know what, why don't we just not pass go, not collect $200. Let's just go directly there. I'm going to appreciate the light. No matter what anyone is saying anything is, no matter what anyone is saying, what defense anyone needs, I can peel the face off it and look at the light shining behind it and simply have gratitude for the light. And as the child, I don't know anything about anything, but I am capable of following the light. I am capable of looking at the light, of resting in the light, of knowing that if there's something for me to do or say, it will become obvious. And I don't have to go around fighting everything or defending against everything. When you follow the light that belongs to all, you have a sense of your own safety. You also have a sense of everyone's safety. So let's talk about the idea of nuclear war. If that idea comes up and there's any charge in it for you, it's your opportunity. Because if you're thinking about beings in other countries and beings being at risk, a being cannot be at risk. A being is held in safety forever. So if you could get caught up in the drama, you could, I could, but I have another choice. I could say, oh, look at me focusing on my fellow beings. Do I want to focus on their persons and on the dramatic story my fearful thoughts are making? Or do I want to focus on their safety that exists right now because it's united with my safety and the safety of every being and everything? Every safety that ever was, it's all united. I can focus there. It's just learning consistently that that's available to me and I can do it. So we're all in charge of our own minds, and now it's like, now here's where you can adult. Step forward and be in charge of your own mind. In every other sense, you're the child, because we don't know anything about anything. We may pretend to, and we may experience evidence that we're right about separate things, but that's just the dream of fear we're making with fearful thought. It's not about being right. It's about being here and being loving. And in every sense, we're the child, except there's this one sense where we can adult. Be in charge of your mind. So that's what we're learning. Be in charge of your thinking. You can point it. I want my thinking to come from spirit, from what unites us, or I want my thinking to come from fear, because those are the only two places our thinking can come from, and our thinking makes our nightmare. Now, change can be a blessing. So our nightmare inevitably turns into a gentle, loving dream. Here's where we are. This is where we are. We're the place where we understand we're doing it. It's not in anybody else's hands, even if the story tells you it is. And we allow the nightmare to change into the gentle, loving dream. And here's where you can apply adulting. This is exactly where to apply adulting. This one place. And other than that, we're all children. As you learn to leave ego's lies behind, at first they grow faint. Then you have to strain to hear them. Then they become preposterous, obviously nonsensical. So this is encouraging as we do our adulting work of not attaching to our fearful thoughts that may arise today, of recognizing them when they do and understanding we have a responsibility for our own happiness. And when we're happy, we can see and reach toward the happiness in others and allow that to extend. And we're responsible for all of that. So that's why we leave ego's lies behind today. And the more we get in the practice of doing it, the less believable, the less they can grab you and seem to intensify that fear. Now, if an ego lie grabs you, a thought grabs you and seems to intensify your fear and resistance, that's ultimately a good thing, because you can see, look at me, I'm an addict, addicted, attached to something. It's an idea, it's a thought, and it's causing me the experience of pain, which is an illusion, but it's causing me the experience of the illusion of physical or emotional pain. It's really intense. And do I finally want to stop? Because 100% of the time it's caused by me. This is where we finally come home and take. So this is the adulting spot. It's the one adulting spot. Responsibility for noticing which thought you're believing and how it feels. The one spot of adulting. The rest of it gets handled. So those thoughts grow faint, and then we're not as easily influenced. We're not so reactive. And they get so faint, you forget what they even meant. They really can't grab you and move you anymore. And there are other thoughts here that can move you, that can speak you, that can act you. And then you get to the point where any thought the ego would offer you, and I'm not here yet, so I'm going to do my adulting today and work on this. I've had glimpses of it though. The ego thoughts become obviously batshit crazy. Obviously. And of course you wouldn't believe one because you know it's going to lead to the experience of the illusion of physical and emotional pain. And you don't want that for you or for anyone. You're in a place where no one has to suffer to prove you were right or to try to make you feel better about something. You don't want anyone to suffer because you don't want to suffer. You don't want to suffer because you don't want to see your reflection suffering. And you know 100% what causes the suffering now. It is the thoughts we believe. And while the suffering is an illusion, it seems very real to us, and it is certainly no picnic. And we always have had the power to stop hurting ourselves. No one's hurt us but ourselves, and we've always had the power to stop doing it to ourselves. So, excuse me, here's where we put our big girl pants on and get to work. So as much as there's that idea of getting to work, the more we get to work, the more we're able to relax. The more we're just the child following the balloon. The less we're disturbed by the thoughts from ego that call for adulting. And so yes, doing our work means we can rest in following our path and having everything made obvious to us. So why do we work? So we can rest. So I'm going to work today and enjoy my rest. And I'm hoping you enjoy yours too. Thanks.